Namaste. So I'm going to show you kind of a variation of Swan Flow that I like to do. So if we begin coming into cat, here's my cat, and I'm just going to start with a cat roll, tucking the tailbone under, rounding the back, guide the chin in, and then releasing through the spine, coming back to cat. To swan, right side, bringing right knee through the hands. Now some of you might be on the heel, that's fine, and sometimes I start that way until I start to open up a little bit, or foot can come out, and I'm just pressing down. Now a lot of times when I come here, my hips are just feeling really tight, so I like to come into the bow and then just shift the hips side to side, just to kind of open up a little bit. When I'm here, I'm also thinking about taking the knees and pulling them apart this way. And then coming up into swan, and again, always a little more supportive with lift to use the blocks. I'm going to add on, just because this leg is tight, the thigh stretch, bringing the heel to hip. So from thigh stretch, and you can see my hip is being pulled back right now, or you can face it down. And then I'm coming into half tortoise. And a lot of times in half tortoise, I might be over and to the side a little bit. So I'm going to use my hands to lift the hips, and then again, I'm pulling the knees apart. And if you can't lower the, sit bones down to ground, then, maybe a little added support under the hips, doesn't have to be a lot, can make a lot of difference. Okay, and then from here, I'm just going to add on a little bit of a rotation. So I'm giving this twist through the spine, and then I come down. I'm just in a rotated half tortoise. Breathe, and this is opening me up through the hips, through the spine, into the joints. And then I'm coming up, and I'm just going to add on a rotation now to the left. Pull the shoulders down, growing up the spine. And then gently, you can return back to half tortoise. Now, from here, I'm going to rotate again. So I'm rotating from the hips, and I'm going to extend the leg back out. And I'm back into my hip. You can see that here. And then I'm going to just swing the left hip down, coming back into my swan, and I just feel more comfortable. I'm a little more stretched out and open. And then if I want to add on that rotation here, coming across the knee and thigh, it deepens. Returning back to center, and now coming to my swan bow. The chin top, and I roll up to swan, and then exhale, return to the bow. And again, you might find a little more support, a little more lift up through the heart and shoulders using block support, and returning to the bow. Inhale as you come up, exhale as you lower. And then sometimes I just like to, add on some of these moves where I'm just kind of rotating through the shoulders into some of these twists, just when my hips and lower back feel tight. And then returning back to swan. All right, to lifting, and then just sliding back to cat, to child, Lengthen through the spine, let the head come down, and again, with the block support, I'm getting more opening here through the shoulders. Breathe. And then inhale, roll back to sitting, bringing hands to heart center, prayer mudra. And then I'll reverse, I'll do the other side. So inhale, coming back to cat. Okay, and then I'm just going to take the blocks and I'm going to add on a bit of a pivot, just a turn to center. And then I'm going to pivot again. Just a little easy turn there. Cat. Okay, get into that cat alignment. And then coming back to swan. And again, maybe you're resting hip on the heel. And you can wiggle a little bit side to side. Just to open. Coming over a little bit, I'm swinging the hip over, so I'm just looking to open up a little bit. Coming back up, and then adding on the thigh stretch. And then from thigh stretch, just coming into the half tortoise. I'm feeling some stretching here through the knee. And then again, you can come forward, you can navigate over a little bit, and then even coming across into the twist. I just love this, it feels so good. One of my favorite things to do. And then, coming back to center, and you want to add on the rotation. You can even use your block support here if you want to create a little more movement through the spine. And then unwinding, returning now to my swan. And again, I'm just rotating the hips. And then, maybe you're working the foot forward a little bit. And then coming to recline swan, and maybe navigating over to the side, back to center, and then gently coming up, swan, swan bow, swan, and a little more lift here, swan, swan bow, swan, swan bow, and back to swan, and I'm just going to bend back into the knee, returning half tortoise, and I can swing the knee up a little bit, and then come back to my cat, and exhale, triangle, inhale, roll.